This is the Ring of Honor, a.k.a. Shane T, boy, the baddest champion you ever seen, boy.
This is Mr. Anderson.
This is good old JR Jim Ross, and you are listening.
You're listening to Knockouts and 3 Counts.
Cover! We got us a new world champion!
That might be one of the craziest knockouts I've ever seen in my life.
Knockouts and 3 Counts is the podcast, baby! It's the real deal, baby!
Knockouts and 3 Counts starts now.
Woo! What up, no? It is another Tuesday. This is Knockouts and 3 Counts. The boys are back in town. Well, not Corey yet, but we are back in town. This is Knockouts and 3 Counts. And there's a lot of things to talk about. We got some wrestling to talk about. We got to say hello to the bad guys. Shout out to last week's guest, Mark Raimondi, and talking about his new book about the NWO. We're going to talk about that. That just hit bookstores today. If you haven't done so, go and get you one of them motherfuckers. And we got Nights of Champions. Night of Champions is still going down in Saudi, even with all the crazy shit. We've got...
That's wild. That's wild.
What's going on, Denise?
Hey, Taco Tuesday. That's right. Let's go.
You are, man, look, if you guys haven't done so, make sure you go check out Denise Salcedo and all the dope content that she puts out. Also, check her out on Busted Open. And shout out to past guest of the show, Dave LaGreca. My man, I'm with you, Busted Open 24/7. Let's make this shit happen. I'm with it.
Yeah,
but if it gets 24/7, just come back on the show. But yeah, man, lots to talk about on the wrestling side of things. You've also got who's going to win the King of the Ring. And then on the fight side of things, you've also got Motor City, the fights at Motor City. And speaking of say hello to the bad guys, check out Denise with Mark doing a live moderated conversation about that at one of these book signings. You also got UFC 317. John Jones retires. Dude, we've got a lot of shit to talk about.
Oh my God.
So I'll let you pick where we start. How you doing on Tuesday? And what do you want to tackle first?
Look, man, it's Tuesday. We're back on the mics. My house is cool because I've been having my air running like crazy. I know that thing.
Oh yeah, my air's going like crazy. It's a sauna in Michigan right now.
Boy, but hey,
Denise, if you're still in here, what's the weather like out there?
That's Michigan for you, though. You know what I mean? It's either hot or it's cold. There's no in between. But like you said, man, we got a lot to talk about. I'm ready to cover. Let's start with Night of Champions at least. Let's get that out of the way because I'm for one, I'm kind of mind boggled that they're still going over there, dude. You know what I mean?
I can't say I argue that. Like, I mean, I understand what people are trying to say. Like, okay, you know, WWE is not connected to all that stuff, but I'm just saying, I don't know that the Saudi trip right now is a really good idea.
You can't put a price tag on safety. You know what I mean? And you can't really. I don't want to say you can't trust people, but like you really can't right now. There's a lot going on. We don't got to get into the politics of it all, but when they shut down their airspace and say, you know, everybody's a target, you really shouldn't be risking your employees to go over there. Even if they said, no, you're fine, you know, you'll be fine. You know, I don't know, man. It's just, if they were me,
yeah, just because you ain't tell you, yeah, you're fine. That means we're fine, right? I don't know, man.
Yeah.
But we got a lot of
WWE and TKO. You could easily pivot, man.
I agree. I mean, although it is the week of the show and all that stuff, I'm getting the Night of Champions card pulled up here first. What do you think about our men's King of the Ring final? We just got that kind of shirt up last night on Raw. It's going to be Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes, which me being a guy that was a fan of Legacy back in the day, any fans of Legacy in here, let us know in the comments. But dude, first of all, do you remember the Legacy theme song?
Yeah, I do.
It's a new day.
It's a new day.
It's a new generation. Yeah, dude. I don't know why that song just stuck in my head as soon as I thought of that. But yeah, dude, I remember that whole run. I liked Legacy. I thought they were good. And we talk about the full circle moments, like Cody getting to finish the story, and you know what we're seeing with him and Randy now. This is full circle with talking about that. I would love to see this in more than just one match. I don't know about you. I would really like to see that. I mean, I feel like this has got, you talk about stories, things that have connections, things that have, you know, that you can keep going on and building off of. This has got everything you could want and more, especially with the role that Cody is now in, because obviously when they were doing Legacy, Cody and Ted DiBiase were like the young upstarts that were, learning and under the wing of Randy Orton the same way Randy was with Triple H and Ric Flair. But now I think it's safe to say with the star that Cody has become outside of WWE and since his return to WWE, that's really cool that this is like a full circle face-to-face moment. I think it's dope. But here's the question though. Does Cody beat Randy?
Yeah. So I was thinking of this earlier, man, because I don't think Cody wins because I think, and I believe Cody said it in an interview, he's kind of on the back end of his the face run right now. We could be getting a heel Cody soon, and I'm cool with that. So if he gets so frustrated to the point,
you think we see heel Cody before we see heel Randy?
Yeah, I do. I think so.
Interesting.
I think so. It's kind of a coin flip, but I'd love to see either way it goes. It's going to be great.
I kind of think it's going to go the opposite way. I think either we're going to have one of two things. Either you're going to have, Cody win and then Randy, tries to do the right thing and, congratulate him on his win and all that stuff. But then eventually the Viper comes out, or Cody beats him and Randy just says, you know what, enough of this Mr. Nice Guy shit, and lays him out.
Hey, it could. What if Randy wins and Cody's Mr. Nice Guy kicks him in the nuts? We wouldn't see that coming. Maybe that's it. I don't know. Cool thing is we can go either way, and it's going to be awesome. I think so. It's a tough pick though, because you just don't know which way they're going to go. But if I'm picking Randy Orton to be the King of the Ring.
All right, so we're split down the middle. I think Cody wins this. You think Randy wins this? And just for the record, for those that are tuning in, appreciate you guys coming in here. Make sure you like the stream, share the stream, all that stuff. Let them know that you're watching. But
damn, now you got the legacy song stuck in my head though. You fucker, you fuck.
It's a new day. It's a new.
It's gonna be on my Spotify playlist.
Well, that's going to be in the next DJ set, bro. Speaking of that,
listen, man,
to our guys
I got to get that on my bucket list.
Rumble,
I want to do a whole wrestling set, dude.
Talk about a whole wrestling set, bro. That Remix Rumble was like literally like one of my highlights of WrestleMania weekend. Shout out to Mark Henry. Shout out to Remix Rumble. Shout out to our guy Danny Ocean, who was in there with us. Shout out to the Professor, man. You want to talk about a cool motherfucker? That's a cool motherfucker. And he's coming here to do a comedy joint next year, too. Man, I got to be in the building for that. Shout out to our guy, the Professor.
There we go.
Who you picking in the Women's King of the Ring? Or Queen of the Ring, excuse me. You there? Or you froze? He froze. While J-Bone figures out his connection stuff, we're getting that all squared away. The Women's Queen of the Ring is something else. I wonder. Oh, you there? Or you dead?
I'm here. I thought you cut.
No, you froze up with your tongue out of your mouth like this.
Well, on this side, I just had you spinning. I don't know what's going on. I don't know.
I was good. I was talking away. You were froze on my screen. But what I was asking is, who do you got for the Women's King of the Ring, bro?
Oh man,
or Queen of the Ring.
I'm gonna say
I keep
Asuka.
saying King of the Ring.
Women can be kings too. I like Asuka in this one, man, and only because I think I still think Jade's gonna mess with or get dealt with Naomi. So I think Naomi's still on her ass. So I feel like she's gonna do some shit at Night of Champions and cause her the Queen of the Ring.
All right, now that I've heard the double play from J-Bone, and now I'm hearing it on mine too.
It's StreamYard, bro. StreamYard can't.
StreamYard is StreamYarding today.
Dude, they've been on some shit lately.
All right, I just reloaded mine. StreamYard is doing StreamYard. All right, here we go. Just trying to figure out some audio stuff, J-Bone. That's all you make your pick. You there?
I'm here.
I just said you make your pick while I try to fix this shit.
I can't hear nothing you're saying, dude.
All right, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Well, you wasn't answering. Anyways, I like Asuka in this. I mean, I don't know. I like Asuka in this. I want Asuka to win, but I feel like Jade Cargill is the one they want to build up, so I feel like she might win this. But I like what we've seen from Asuka since she's been back. She's been one that I've said for a while that I wish, we saw more of. In WWE. So her being in here for the Queen of the Ring. My big thing for the Queen of the Ring is I just hope they make it as serious as it is for the men's too. Like, let whoever the winner is be like them going for the title. Let that be a big thing. Like, don't downplay the Queen of the Ring. That's my big thing.
Wait, they do get a title shot at SummerSlam, right? Is
that's what I understand. It's both the winners are getting a title shot at SummerSlam.
Okay, so what if Jade wins the title at SummerSlam and Naomi cashes in on her? Maybe that's where we're going with that.
I can see that. That's why I said I want Asuka to win, but I think
that
Jade
makes
is going to win.
I just don't want to end Asuka's run so fast because she just came back. You know what I mean? She looks great.
100%. That's why I'm saying I like Asuka, and I would rather see her win, if I'm honest with you. But I just think because of the reasons you just said, especially with Naomi having the having the money in the bank, I could totally see that being what ends up happening.
Yeah, I could see that too. Now that I'm thinking about that, it's a good point.
Just saying, dude. Go ahead.
I still want to pick Asuka though.
I want to pick Asuka. I'm ready for Asuka to be back up on top. See, she always says they're not ready. I'm ready for it. But
We're ready for Asuka.
I think Jade's winning, and I think eventually, like you said, somehow that's gonna match her up with Naomi's path at some point. Because I mean, with the way they did that and the way they built that up, bro, that almost has to be the way you go. All right. What else do we got on here, bro? What else do we? I'm pulling up the match card for. I'm pulling up the match card for Night of Champions here because I know there's only going to be. So we got two. Go ahead.
CM Punk versus John Cena is the big one, and then we got.
That's why. How the fuck did I not think of that? We were just about to talk about John Cena's promo anyway. Before we get into picks for the Night of Champions match, what'd you think of what's being called John Cena pipe bomb?
I loved it because it just.
Do you think it was on the par the same as CM Punk's?
No, because you can't replicate an original. You know what I mean? CM Punk originally did that, and it was amazing. It's obviously still talked about to this day as one of the best promos of all time. So I think John Cena kind of, he was paying homage to that, which was really cool. He did it kind of step by step, blueprint wise, right? He mentioned everything just in a different form. But I love it, man. I really think it's cool. It's a great callback to that 2012 rivalry they had. I think it was awesome. And it just adds more of the gritty bad guy John Cena that we're having a freaking blast with it. So I thought it was great.
I just thought I liked all the little callbacks to it personally. I thought Punk laying there forever, just laying there forever. But I think that's what should have happened. But him just laying there, and then the way he kept bringing up little points that Punk said in the thing, and it's oh man, I thought it was good. It kind of bothers me that it was here in Michigan and I wasn't there.
I wasn't even aware of that. It was my kid who told me that. I was like, I didn't even know.
See, you don't be keeping up with concerts no more.
Dude,
You don't be
I'm a busy guy. Anyway, so my pick on that one. Man, I hate going against CM Punk, but I don't think we're ending the John Cena reign right now. He's red hot, dude. He's on fire, and he's gonna beat everybody but one person, and that's where I'm struggling to see where we're going as far as the Cody Rhodes thing, because I still think it's gonna be Cody. But
almost kind of feel like it has to be given
yeah,
the way
I
that
mean, unless somebody really like jumps superstardom wise real quick, and I don't think we're gonna have that right now. But I'm taking John Cena. I hate to say that, but hey, is what it is. Yes, and like Mike said, I think the reason is because Seth.
There you go. Punk. Shout out to Mike chiming in. Does Seth cost Punk?
I do think that has a lot to do with this weekend.
Okay, but do you think? Okay, so say he does hypothetically. Do you think that means that it's just going to bring us right back to Seth versus Punk out of this?
Yeah, I think we're going to get a banger at SummerSlam. We're going to get a classic at SummerSlam between Punk and Seth Rollins. Might even be a main event of, let's say, night one. I think that could be it. And I think on night two, potentially Seth will cash in.
So with that being said, though, and I'm going to kind of to piggyback off of what you said, though. What do you think of the new group with Heyman and Seth and Bronson and Braun Breaker?
Oh, I'm digging it. Dude. You know what's crazy, though, is we're getting less of Paul Heyman, which is weird, right? Because his presence alone just does a lot for that group. But we're not getting all the Paul Heyman that we did on the mic like we did with the Bloodline. So that I feel like that's making a difference. But Seth, I seen a lot of people saying Seth's promo on Raw last night was just kind of boring and stale, but I thought it was good. Seth might be the very best on the mic right now. Arguably.
Wow.
Arguably, there's really no promos on Raw that you're looking forward to more than Seth, besides John Cena right now. And that's only
I was gonna say, man. I mean,
that's only because of what he's saying. But Seth Rollins still and has
isn't that the point of a promo?
Time, right? Seth Rollins still and has been for a long time holding the flag for Monday Night Raw, dude. You know what I mean? And I still think he's up there. I really do, as far as mic work goes. But that group, red hot. I still hope they add a Becky, though. I hope that happens. I don't know when it's going to happen or how it's going to happen, but I still hope that happens.
So I would like for that to happen, but I keep hearing rumors about, talk about adding another, somebody from like an NXT or something like that, which
do you think the Becky thing is too obvious?
If they were going, what my initial thought when this group came together and, I was there, ring the bell, get you one of those t-shirts at millions.co, or I've still got plenty. I can mail one out to you. But I thought immediately when I saw the group, I immediately thought Dangerous Alliance.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what I thought. And then,
so we need a woman.
Well, right. But that's why I thought Becky was the perfect fit with her doing like the whole heel deal with Lyra and all that stuff. I just thought that it would kind of like was a shoe fit in, Yeah. But I mean, at this point, I don't really know what the direction of that group is. So I don't know if that means we're going to get another guy or if it's going to be, a girl that joins the group, because I feel like we still haven't really seen like the true direction of where they're going to go yet. Because It's like right now it's kind of like Braun and Bronson are like the what do you call it? It's almost like the henchmen. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They're definitely.
I mean, that's kind of what this feels like at this point, because it's like, okay, like for example, okay, you can say they got Paul Heyman with them, and that's like, them getting their like they're sitting under the learning tree type thing.
Mm-hmm.
But in this situation, because we haven't really heard either one of them really say anything since they got with Paul and Seth, you don't really know what that is. I mean, we still know that Bron Breaker's a freak. We still know that Bronson Reed is a savage. But again, as far as to the direction of the group right now, it just seems like it's I don't know. It gives me henchman vibes, but I would love for.
Do you think? I only seen this question on Twitter recently, but do you think they need gold to stay relevant? Not Seth. I'm talking Braun and Brunson. Maybe tag team gold or an IC title, US title, whatever. Do you think they need gold to stay?
I don't know that they need gold, but I would say more so in Bronson's case. I think it would be better for him. Add him some legitimacy. Although, I mean, I think everybody thought he was legit before he got hurt.
Yeah.
But I feel like for this group, you kind of have to. While I get Corey in here,
we still got one more match, we
got two more matches. Three more matches.
I wasn't even aware of the Jacob Fatu and Solo match. I didn't even know that was on the card. I must have missed something there. I'm getting old. They had a lot of stuff.
Well, they had the whole thing that went down on Smackdown. Didn't you watch Smackdown?
I must have missed something on Smackdown because I didn't get to watch it live on time anyway. Yeah, you got my kid to fill me in on that stuff. Where were you on that one? What up, boy?
What up, boys? How's it going, fellas?
Well, you missed the whole StreamYard glitch fest.
Oh, I got lucky on that one.
You missed out on that one.
Of course, right when Denise joins the stream.
Right. Right when the top tier people are looking. Jeez Louise.
You gotta love it, dude. But I like this, dude. I've said it for years. You know what I mean? You know what it is, bro. All gas, no brakes with it. I've been said for years. I'm a Jacob Fatu guy, man. I like that they're breaking Jacob away from the whole Solo thing. And as we've already seen, Hikuleo wrestled again here in Grand Rapids before SmackDown. I think what's going to happen is Solo is going to probably lose to Jacob at Night of Champions, and then Solo is going to go recruit the other Tongan and go get Hikuleo so that when the Gorillas of Destiny come back, you got Tama, you got Tongaloa, you got Hikuleo, and then he's got the Tongan hit squad basically ready to go against Jacob Fatu. But I still don't think he's going to give a shit. But I am all in favor of pushing Jacob Fatu to the moon. Thoughts on that match?
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I was going to say the same thing. We got more guys coming in, man, and we got to get to SummerSlam though, because I think that's Jacob's big payoff is on the big stage at SummerSlam. So I don't know how we're going to get there yet as far as everything goes, but I think he might lose this Saturday to Solo due to some outside interference, and then maybe get his lick back at SummerSlam. But I'm taking Solo on that one. But I'm with you. I like the way that whole story is going to play out. We got a ways to go, but I'm loving that.
Chris, I need picks in the comments. What are you thinking? Solo versus Jacob Fatu. Are we going to get the rest of the Tongans now in the bloodline? I kind of feel like that's where we're headed for it. All right. We talked about Jacob and Solo. We've got Rhea versus Raquel Rodriguez in a street fight. I think this match is going to be a badass. Former tag partners, two, beasts of women, and I mean that in like the best of I mean that in like the best of terms.
That's the most women muscle you have in a match, right? Well, I guess if you had Jade, but a lot of back muscle in that one. Let's just say that.
Hey, bro, I'm with it. I'm here for it. I'm ready to see how this one goes. I think Mommy's going to be on top again. I think she takes out Raquel Rodriguez, but I feel like this is going to be a hard-hitting clash, and someone's going to get their ass whooped. Is what's going to happen.
I'm surprised they're going to let it be a street fight. That's interesting to see how far they could take it.
I didn't even think of that until you just said that. I didn't even think about that because with it being in Saudi,
right? That's something.
And them
to see how that goes.
I didn't even think of that. That'll be really interesting to see what we see from a street fight with two women in a place like Saudi.
Yeah.
I'm
with you though. I think Mommy's gonna be on top again. I think Rhea's gonna get this one. But interesting to see how that plays out.
I definitely am in agreement on that one. Now we've got Sami Zayn and Karrion Kross. Now, I, for one, am all for. I want to see more of Karrion Kross. Damn it, They got his shirts on all the stands when you go to the shows. People are buying the shirts. You keep seeing the videos of when he wrestles on like main event or whatever it might be with that, bro. Like, we need this man to get a push. At least in my opinion, I want to see him, do something meaningful. Just the entrance with him and Scarlett alone, in my opinion, is one of the best entrances in wrestling for a long time. It just doesn't get used enough because Cross hasn't been doing a ton. But I've been a Killer Cross guy for a long time. I want to see them do something with him. And even though I like Sami Zayn, I want Karrion Kross to get the dub on this one.
Yeah, I'm with you too, man. He deserves it. The guy, I mean, you think about WrestleMania weekend, the guy went out and got his own push from the internet. You know what I mean? So he really was a lot of talk over WrestleMania weekend with the documentary and Bloodsport and not being on the card. So he deserves to be where he's at. But we just need a little more. We need more TV time. So I think we're starting. We're getting there. It's going to take a minute, but I'm with you. I think he wins this. And I think him and Sammy are going to be linked up here pretty soon in some way, shape, or form. I think he's going to recruit Sammy somehow and turn him over to the dark side, let's say.
We'll see. I don't know. However this plays out, I hope that Karrion Kross comes out better for it. I think it's time. I think they know that the dude's a star. His entrance is dope. His look is different. And like you said, legitimately has skills in jiu-jitsu and fighting and things of that nature too, which, I'm always a fan of. But I'm just saying, and that lady he's got with him can be on my TV anytime. Anytime. Scarlett Bordeaux can be on my TV anytime. Yeah, dude, I love Sami Zayn, but I'm going Karrion Kross.
Real quick before we jump off Night of Champions, what do you think it's going to be like the day of, as far as the tension of the show? Because I've seen so much on X about them being over there, and I read that there was already people over there stuck where they're at the airports and stuff.
I heard there were WWE people already stuck over there, like the ones who went over early.
Yeah, where's the event at?
Saudi.
Oh, yeah.
And we don't have to get into the politics of it all, but it's a lot of tension, and it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Hopefully everybody's just safe. Let's just get through it. But if it were me, I wouldn't have sent them over there in the first place. Just saying.
I mean, you saw the coach came out a couple days ago and said he didn't understand why they were doing this, and that he already knew people that he knew in the company that were stuck over there already. I
did read that if they were to move the show or cancel, they'd lose approximately $50 million.
Oh, they're going to lose a shit dude, there's no way they're going to cancel it because, dude, they're getting paid like crazy. We talk all the time about what Turkey Al Sheikh's doing in boxing. Well, you think that WWE is going to go over there and not get paid?
Right. Well, let's just hope that price tag is worth your safety, man. Let's just pray for a good show and a clean show and a safe show, and everybody gets back and forth. Okay. Hopefully there's no issues.
If I'm not direct, I may be confused, but they're not directly involved in the conflict, are they? So, I mean, it might just be a travel issue more than it might be necessarily.
They're not, but it's already come out within the last day or so that all flights into Saudi airspace have been taken down already.
That's what I was saying. Is it might be a flight issue, travel.
Well, that's the point, though. Why even go in there if you know you might not be able to get them back out? Because even before this happened, there was already the thing the last time they went and people were talking about their passports were getting taken and it took them 2 or 3 days to get out of there.
NXT had to take over SmackDown.
They had to have NXT come up and take over SmackDown because the main roster guys and girls couldn't get out of Saudi.
And they're not far from all the drama. So
No, that's for sure. I'm not. Yeah.
I'm not trying to wish nothing bad. I can't lie. This definitely seems like it might be one of those where I'm like,
it's a risky move, man.
They're really screwed if they do and screwed if they don't, if you really think about it. Because if you don't do it, you lose $50 million.
I'm just saying that if I were the boss.
I mean, is $50 million even a dent in their annual fucking financial report?
Yeah, but then it could mess up their whole deal then, because then does that put you in like a breach of contract thing? Because obviously there's some kind of contract when they're running this many events over there now.
Yeah, I would imagine.
That's why I'm saying it's like, I don't think it's as simple as just fuck this, we're pulling out. Now, maybe it should be that simple, but I don't think that's what we're seeing right now. And I just hope everything goes well. I mean, one thing I will say,
fly on the wall of that conversation, dude.
That'd be crazy.
We got to make this money, boys. It doesn't matter if you're stuck over there for 2 months. I can't help it. We got to make this money. That's what I imagine.
I'll be curious to see if Triple H and Tony Khan make the trip.
They have to, don't they?
I mean, not technically. I mean, technically, they could just send the match card and the crew.
I bet. I mean, at least Triple H. I would bet they're both there, to be honest.
I mean, who knows? I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah. Who knows?
I really think. I mean, I bet you both of them are there. I hope everything goes smoothly. I hope everything, goes without a hitch. I just hope that everything stays cool in the US of A right now. We'll go with that. Shout out to everybody who's checking us out, whether that's Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, millions, all of the things. It says there's about 123 of you guys in here right now. Make sure you guys share that out. Let everybody know they're coming, retweet it, all that kind of stuff. Greatly appreciate you. Shout out to bodyslam.net as well. We also had AEW Mexico in Arena Mexico, bro. That was a badass setup.
Yeah.
And then that Mystico entrance where they were all singing along and knew that shit word for word. Yep. That was like some rock concert type shit. I didn't know the words because I don't know Spanish, but dude, it was dope. Yeah. It was dope. Like that whole crowd was just rocking and vibing. And shout out to my guy Shane Taylor showing up Arena Mexico. It didn't exactly go the way it is planned, but shout out to our guy. Another big one marked off the list. Shout out to the infantry and Trish Adora, who I'm so glad to see in Shane Taylor Promotions. I've been saying that since she wasn't Shane Taylor Promotions. But I thought we had a pretty damn good show, dude, for the most part. That promo by Hangman in all Spanish.
Oh, yeah.
First of all, props to him to being able to do that long of a promo in Spanish, whether he had to memorize it or what.
Yeah, I was about to say, did he memorize that real quick? Because I didn't know he was fluent like that. Good for him.
I mean, you never know. Maybe he is. But, I mean, I'm sure you could, write out what you wanted to say and then, maybe translate or something, but man, because I assume something like that's not just coming off the hip.
You use Google Translate. We got AI technology.
That's what I'm saying. So write it out in Google Translate. I'm saying I don't think he came up with that off the dome and was able to spit it out in Spanish.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so. Pretty impressive.
I'm just saying now, if he did that, that's pretty fucking impressive.
Yeah.
If he did that, that's pretty damn impressive. I don't know, man. Like I said, I love it. Shout out to AEW's getting ready to come up on All In Texas, July 12th. We're getting Kenny Omega versus Kazuchika Okada in the States in an American promotion. Yeah. I just talked to AEW today. Hopefully I'm going to be there. I'm not going to lie. The idea of seeing that match live and in person.
Yeah, that's a legacy match right there, dude.
You go and look anywhere on the internet, dude. That match, the matches that they had, broke the fucking internet.
Yes, pretty much.
Literally broke the fucking internet. It wasn't even over here in the States.
Wow, what was the latest on that MJF situation with the mask? Because I remember there was a fan altercation.
So he took off. Whose mask was that he got? It Mystico. It was Mystico. Jesus Christ. Yeah, it was Mystico's.
Yeah.
So he took Mystico's mask. And then, dude, they wanted to kill this motherfucker. Somebody came to beat the shit out of him at the hotel, tried to jump him at the hotel.
I can't believe they let him do that.
You're not wrong.
we know the wrestling tradition and heritage for Mexico. That's just something you don't do. I don't care how much heat you get for that, dude. You're crossing the line.
Could you imagine if they did that to like Rey Mysterio?
No, it wouldn't fly. I don't think he'd make it out of the building.
I don't think so.
I can't believe that whoever. I mean, I don't know what was.
You want heat, bro. You want heat. That's
no
heat.
way everybody sat down and said, "Yeah, this is okay." No way, dude. No way.
I mean, well, they did it. So, I mean, props to him for having the balls to do it. But I mean, again, when you have Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin and MVP,
Jesus, man,
nuclear, bro.
He's already there. He's already there.
If I'm gonna piss him off, I'm gonna piss him all the way off.
So what happened? So did somebody confronted him at the hotel? Was that what it was?
The way I understand it, it looks like it happened at the hotel after the event was over.
Yeah, I read a little bit of that, but I didn't see like a result.
I mean, well, dude, they were talking like we were talking about. Listen to how that entrance was. Like the whole place was singing along word for word with his song. You know,
that's crazy, dude. I hope he had some extra security that night because screw that.
If he didn't, then he's going to. If he didn't, then if they go back, he's going to. I think for sure. All in all, dude, I thought AEW Grand Slam was dope. What about the Brody King coming out with the Abolish Ice shirt on?
Yes, dope. I love Brody King, man.
I'm not even mad at it, bro. Not even mad at it.
Yeah, no, Brody King is a dog. He's another
one. Brody King
guys.
Don't give a fuck. Brody King beats to the beat of his own drum, and he don't give a fuck.
Yes, that's a bad dude in real life, right there. That's one of those guys you don't fuck with in real life.
I mean, all you got to do is look at the guy. And
right.
My first thought.
Remember when we went to AEW and he choked out Darby over the little battle royal? He just choked him out over the ropes. That's broken.
I remember seeing him in a Knights of Columbus at a Progress show and hitting the rope so hard that the top rope snapped and he went backwards and almost got hung by the ropes.
Hey, man.
Like
big dude coming at you right there.
That's my point. You're talking about strong enough to like knock the whole ass rope down and just snap it. It was like a rubber band, except a lot heavier rubber band. And if somebody would have got hit by that, that would have been very, very bad. Shout out to Brody King, though. I fucks with Brody King. We also before we get off the wrestling, how could I not start this with rest in peace, Sabu. I was at Sabu's funeral on Saturday. I seen the likes of Rob Van Dam in there. I saw Jimmy Jacobs in there. I saw Scott D'Amore. I saw quite a lot of notable names in there, and as expected for a legend like Sabu. Shout out to the American Kaiju, Lindsay Snow, who was in the town over this weekend. Linked up with her a little bit, was with her at the funeral. I don't know, man. It was cool to get to be there, man, but still sucks that we lost Sabu.
Yeah. It's cool the coming together of the wrestling community for him, man. He just left such a mark on wrestling, period, just from entrances to moments to everything. So good to have people come together for stuff like that, at least. You know what I mean? But in a space where there's so much negativity, bro, it's good to see stuff like that.
And I want to put out there, like, shout out to his family. His family was cool as hell. Like, I've never met any of his family, and you'd have thought, just because I was there with Lindsay, you would have thought I was, like, a member of the family, dude. So, like I said, shout out to Sabu's family. All this time, I mean, I knew he was in Lansing a lot, but I just always, I guess, had assumed that he had a house, like, down here in Detroit. But they said he always stayed in Lansing because he wanted to stay closer to his mother. So, definitely respect that, given a few of the things that have gone down in my neck of the woods. But from said funeral, I had to drive. I had to drive downtown. I had to judge some fights that had a couple of our past guests on the show in it. Shout out to Aaron Turtleman Ward getting himself a title. He had an opponent drop out on Monday. He ended up fighting. Damn shit, it was at 140, I think. When he usually fights at 125. So shout out to taking care of your adversity. He came in there, took care of business, got in and out quick and in a hurry. And then we had Chad Decker getting back in the cage against a really tough opponent, dude. I was surprised when I heard the name. First of all,
because of the weight. Because Eric Ramirez used to fight in Bellator. Another guy, if you've been around Michigan MMA, you know what time it is with Eric the Ram Ramirez. Shout out to Joel Scullin, who I've seen there as well. But yeah, dude, I really thought that fight was going to go longer than it did, just because, again, I've seen Eric fight a bunch. Obviously, I've seen Chad fight a bunch. They fought at 165. And Chad's usually a 55. But like I said, good win for Chad Decker, getting him a first round submission finish, or no, TKO finish. So good for him. I'm forgetting my man's name that landed the knockout, but dude, there was a head kick knockout. Well, it started with a head kick, and my man's eyes like rolled in the back of his fucking head before he even hit the ground. Mash Jim had him a pretty good night. They had like a Gabriel Gonzaga style knockout where, like, you know, when he like knocks the guy out and then looks up at the ref, and the ref tells him to like give him a couple more. Like, he had him in side control, and like, dude, like, I'm just gonna call him like the baby Hulk, because Idris Kumasi, that's who it was. I'm gonna just call him the baby Hulk because he's got like no neck and just like fucking just cock diesel some bitch, and he's on him in side control, just wham, 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 just blasting this dude. And at one point, you see him kind of go limp, and he like looks up at the referee, and then he like literally stops because he thought the referee was gonna stop, and he tells him to keep going. Hits him a couple more times, and I don't know if it like woke the guy up or whatever, dude. But man, we're not talking about like big haymaker like punches, though. We're talking about like short little hammer fist punches to give you an idea of how much power these had to have. They're not like all wound up. He threw them from about here and just wham, wham, and next thing you know, dude's just like. I was just like, wow, dude. Like I said, judging is a whole nother beast, a whole nother animal. You know, I mean, commentary gets you there too because you're like right outside the cage. But yeah, there was definitely a lot of finishes on that one. A few decisions in the beginning of the night. Shout out to Carlos Linas and Bruce Strunk for having us. Speaking of fights, this Saturday, World of Games, Southgate, Michigan. Two-Piece invades the downriver area, and it will be live here on Millions on pay-per-view, and will be narrated by yours truly and Corey as we come back on the mic for Two-Piece. As they come down here to Southgate, we're going to be talking a little bit more of those fights coming up here probably on Thursday. Shout out to AAO Media, who will be helping shoot the whole thing. Shout out to Andrew. It's going to be a good time. Always love being behind the mic. For all of our listeners and friends downriver, you're always telling me to let you know when there's going to be a fight close to home. Here you go. Come check it out. Watch somebody get knocked out.
While we're on that topic too, I'm really curious to see what that place is going to look like as a fight venue. Once they pack a cage in the middle of it,
I
and
just
stuff,
went
I'm
there
really
for
curious.
a wrestling show. Shout out to Horror Slam, and so it was
So
basically it was basically the same layout that they're using. Basically, where there's like a entrance, like a place for you to like put up the curtain, like where you walk over from where like the axe throwing shit is over to where the cage is gonna be, and then the rest of it is pretty much like just gonna be fans everywhere. So all in all, dude, if you're a fan of the old school days of MMA, I got a feeling that that's gonna be the vibes for this fight. So you're gonna be up close and personal. Hopefully my suit doesn't go home with anybody else's blood on it.
Blood stains, man.
You know, it's happened a couple times now. I guess it comes with the territory.
You need to take some wet wipes with you, man. At least for your phone. At least for your phone this time. Remember, we had to like go freaking we had to go to the bathroom and wipe off our phones and shit. Oh,
yeah,
God.
dude, I got it all over my phone at Mitten Muay Thai the one time. Yeah, dude, it's these are some of the things that happen. We also had a UFC card that went down this weekend. Our guy Jamal Sweet Dreams Hill did not get the dub against Khalil Roundtree. Before we talk about what what happened in the fight with Jamal and what's next for him. What are the thoughts on Khalil Roundtree and where he goes from here?
For me, at least, killer performance. Hard to take much away other than the fact I didn't see much of the like finishing instinct. It seemed like because he did have Jamal hurt in a couple of those instances, and it seemed like he. And I've heard it broke down from a couple other podcasts, so I guess in hearing it that way, I agree. It wasn't his responsibility to go for it. Khalil's. It was more Jamal's being the one that wasn't ahead in the fight and stuff. But that would be my only real critique on Khalil's performance was the fact that maybe we didn't see that, that gusto to get the job done when there was maybe a couple opportunities for it. That being said, though, it was pretty clear throughout. There was a couple moments where he got hit with some solid shots, but other than that, he was able to control the pace, really took Jamal's leg out. And once that happened, man, it was just, it was basically him controlling range and landing whatever shots he wanted to. Jamal kind of doing what he could with the one leg and maintaining out there and trying to land a couple shots, but he just wasn't active enough, Jamal, in my opinion, man. It was one of those fights where
dude, he was getting his leg ate up.
Yeah.
Like taking leg kicks like that. I mean, it's hard to be active when you can't
I'm looking
push
at
forward
the
off your
now.
foot.
It says Khalil landed 56% of his strikes.
Well, dude, his calf. If
that's
you look
high.
at the calf on his one leg, it looked like he had a baseball on the back of his calf.
Yeah.
Like it was gnarly.
Landing more than half your strikes is high in any MMA fight. So,
yeah.
With a guy like Khalil, they hurt. They cause
Look,
damage.
dude, Jamal Hill's got a dog in him. There's no way to understate that. And shout out to our guy Brett Big Dog Martin. I think he said it best. I mean, he's doing this against the best fighters in the world. I don't know necessarily what the next fight is for him, but I will always show love to our Michigan guys.
Absolutely.
Other than that, man, there wasn't a lot of bigger fights on this one. Curtis Blades getting him a decision win. Rafael Fiziev getting one.
Blades got lucky in that one. If we're gonna bring that fight, Blades got lucky in that one, man. I can't even think of the dude's name making his debut into the UFC, fighting a top 5 guy.
Kuniev. How you pronounce that, Kyle? You're good.
Kuniev.
Kuniev.
Yeah, you're correct. Kuniev, if he would have just been able to keep a little more gas through that third round, and if he would have just done a little bit
grass,
more,
no bakes with it, bro.
Yeah, if he would have been a little more active in maybe the first, I mean, there was moments in that fight where I thought we were about to see Blades go out, and for Kuniev to get that debut shot against a top 5 guy, to me, they were setting Blades up. That's what it seemed like to me, is they were setting him up. I think they're not necessarily a fan of his style. And I mean, we've seen a performance like this and it kind of shows why. I mean, you're supposedly top 5 in the world in the biggest fighting organization and you struggled with a guy making his debut, so for me, I mean, good on Kuniev, props to him. But I mean, really, it just showcased the faults to me in Curtis Blades' style. Honestly,
I would say this particular weekend is like that's a tough win for him. Like it's kind of a shitty win considering the news that broke with the heavyweight title and John Jones. It's like because you didn't really impress nobody, yet you won.
I mean.
He looked beat up at the end. Yeah, he won. Kyle, you're right. I already know what you're going to say.
I mean,
all I'm saying is, if anything, I think that I'm not saying he might not have got lucky, but I'm just saying at the end of the day, I think that was a matchup they wanted him to get beat up in, and he still got a dub. So then what does that say?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, at the same time,
that says
paper,
to me,
win, dude.
You should have done a lot better because you're one of the best in the world and you're coming off a title challenge.
Right, but you're telling me the UFC didn't know that this guy was a young killer and they were hoping he was going to get a good performance off of a guy like Curtis Blades?
Let me ask you this. If Curtis Blades went in there and totally smoked this guy, knocked him out, do you think he'd be first in line for Aspinall's heavyweight title?
Potentially.
I know.
There's a shot.
I don't think so. I think it's still gone, right?
Gane or Volkov. Those are the only two that
Volkov
make
is the other
sense.
one, okay.
I would say,
But him and Volkov already fought, so
Right.
it's kind of at least Gane's a fresh matchup. But you know, I don't know the heavyweight division. Real quick before we jump into the heavyweight division, shout out Fiziev for getting a return to the win column too in the co-main. That was also a real entertaining fight with him and Bahamondes. I like that. That was a good one.
I
But
mean,
go ahead, Kyle. Go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say. I mean, look, dude. I still don't subscribe to the. I still don't subscribe to the standpoint of like John Jones was scared of Tom Aspinall, because I really don't think it had anything to do with being scared of him. Like, I really don't. Like, now, can you say maybe he was ducking him? Maybe, but I don't think that it's, in my opinion, this isn't like a thing like, oh, I'm scared of Tom or whatever the case, you know. And the thing is, when it comes to these things, there's three sides to it. It's your side, my side, really four sides, maybe Dana's side and the truth. And, you know, Dana says that this fight was already a done deal. You know, John had already agreed to it. I do think that there's a level of like, maybe John knew like taking this fight was gonna be like the biggest test he was gonna get, and could potentially make him go out, if this is gonna be on his last fight, be like, you know what I mean? If this is gonna be his last fight, you know, and then he goes out and loses the title, I could see that being a concern. But
yeah,
I don't know, man. The thing that bums me out about it though is like, it really just killed the heavyweight division. Because no matter who, in my estimation, no matter who Tom Aspinall fights, you know, as the new undisputed heavyweight champion, no matter who it is, I just don't think it's going to have the cachet to like finally put the respect on Tom Aspinall's name that I think, and what a lot of people think, should have already been there, considering the fact that he's already defended the title more times than John did as the regular champion. That said, it makes me want to address something that got posed via our Instagram, and you know, I am not scared of that shit. So if you're listening to this, Lavaz MMA, I will have clips of this up as well. I know he said he wanted to come on the show to talk about this, but his standpoint was, we all know, and I've said it here on the show, this is why I don't know that I could ever fully consider John Jones as the GOAT, being like the PED misses and things like that. But here's what Lavaz had to say. He said, the MMA community knows 10 times Jones was juicy, not 3, not 6. Everything's public information. And he said he'd be happy to come on the show. And he said he has a fake record. Now, okay. Do I agree that maybe there could be a chance that maybe, you know, once maybe John had gotten away with some stuff back in the day? I don't know, because there's no way to really prove that. But this was my argument when we were talking about it on Instagram as well. Like, to say the man's record is fake, that's a little far-fetched to me, because
I mean, as far as what, like handing him like easy fights?
Well, they were saying, yeah. I mean, I assume that's what he was going with, but like, I don't see that though, because okay, can you say when he fought Strogan, it was like more I should say Stipe. When he fought Stipe, was it more advantageous for John Jones? Yeah, sure, okay, you could say that, but like, realistically, the guy beat Stipe, the guy beat DC, he beat fucking
beat some of the grades. I mean,
he's beat, dude. You talk about a hit list.
That's honestly, I think so. To rebuttal, I guess, a couple of the points that you made, but there's no to the commenter's point. There's no argument with the strength of schedule. That he's the Alabama.
And that was all I was trying to say.
There's no saying that he doesn't deserve a rank, because his strength of schedule. He beat the older generation. He beat the old generation. He beat the new generation and some of the now generation. Like he really did clear 4 generations of fighting. He's been in the UFC for so long. And when he burst onto the scene, it was only 3 or 4 fights, and then he was already fighting for the title. So you can't say he's literally been fighting title level athletes in the UFC for 25, 30 fights or something now. So I mean, there's no argument with strength of schedule. The PED use and stuff like that, absolutely. I've made my notes on the show about it multiple times where, if you want to exclude him from your Mount Rushmore, if you want to say he's not necessarily your best, MMA athlete of all time. To me, what really showcases so much about, I don't want to say the disrespect of John Jones, but what he's left the taste on MMA fans is the lack of I'll see somebody who's a solid 50-50 fighter for the last 10 years that's just been a decent fan favorite that gets more wow, he retired, props on a great career type of talk and stuff than I have for John Jones's retirement. Literally one of the best athletes that we've been able to see in this sport.
See, but I think that's because of what he did, though.
No, and that's what I was going to round out that point with is I don't even think it's just what the points that you brought up. I think so many people's taste on him is so off is because of all the cop stuff, all the criminal charges.
Well, and then not to mention, look what happens to come out right after he announces his retirement, dude. Hardy has got to wonder, okay, maybe is there some truth to what Dana said, and maybe the fight was done, but maybe Dana knew that this thing was going to come, before we did, because they usually know about the things before they hit the news. So, maybe he knew that, look, I'm about to go through this legal thing, and it's not going to be a good look for us to be going through this legal thing while you're fighting for the heavyweight title. So, I don't know, man. In a lot of ways, I mean, it's a really John Jones way for his career to end.
Isn't it?
It is.
And I hate to say it that way, but it really is. It's a John Jones way for his career to end because
we've said it a few times. Being a champion is also a characteristic trait, dude. Yeah, you had a great run. You beat guys like Cormier, Gustafsson, Sonnen, Vitor, you name it, Shogun. But outside the ring, you didn't carry yourself as a champion, dude. I'm sorry. You got in too much trouble, too much shit, and you are definitely outside the octagon. You are not a champion of the world.
Well,
I'm sorry.
Brian Campbell of Morning Combat was on Submission Radio doing kind of a breakdown of the retirement and stuff, and I think he said it really well with the fact of he burned himself in MMA fans minds. Yeah. He did so much wrong, and to your point with it's just this constant flow, and with this, it's the most John Jones possible retirement ever, where it's you make your retirement, relinquish your belt, do everything, you avoid a potential, challenge like you were arguing earlier, Kyle. And then on top of that, you also have this litigation thing that comes out allegedly.
And there's the phone call that they got a void. Well, he got in an accident and he dipped out, and then and not only that, that was another point I wanted to point out that Brian Campbell said. He's coming up on 40, and he's acting like he was still in his early 20s. He's making mistakes allegedly the thing is he was riding around with some girl who had no pants on and was high as shit off shrooms, and there was a car accident and she was in the passenger seat. That's the whole. And then like you were saying, Kyle, apparently the phone records have came out and there was 20 or 30 calls between the two of them, hours, before and after. So not a great look.
Just go away.
Not a great look. Well, it's just,
that's why I say part of me really wonders.
You know what I'm really happy about, and this is only because I had a bad taste in my mouth all these years ago. I'm happy for DC. DC was right all along. Damn it.
DC called him a quitter.
DC, and he's right. DC was right when the rivalry was going on, and he's right today. John Jones has never been a champion of the world in our eyes, at least my eyes. So screw that. You can go be on your way. Go party somewhere, dude.
It's just so funny, and I hate to, because I do have like a sport mentality on him, and then like a person mentality. It's almost like a Jordan thing where it's
Dude,
like,
that's why I
you know,
argued with the guy on Instagram. Like, skill wise, you can't argue that the guy is one of the best of all time. Just again, based on who he beat, how he beat him. And here's the thing: you can say whatever you want about PEDs. PEDs can make you perform better. They can't make you have the skills. John Jones has the skills to do those things to people. That's not just
but if
because
you're a total trash bag, nobody cares.
Yeah. For me, it was his fight IQ throughout the years that made him special to me. It was
and that's my point. That's
his ability
you get from steroids.
Yeah, it was his ability to adapt and overcome and kind of push people into their best circumstances, but then somehow look better in that moment. And you know, he would just kind of like lull people a little bit and then take their knee out and then clobber them and then get them down and take us like, he was never this like huge power threat. He was never like the immediate sub guy. He was never like this guy that was one fine thing. He was just a jack of all trades, and he was dangerous everywhere. And somehow, like I was saying, he always like targeted people's strong suit, wanted them to bring that against him, and then found a way to overcome it. That would be the most positive thing I can say about John Jones'
He's a
career.
prototype MMA fighter, man, and it's wasted by the shit that he did outside the octagon.
Absolutely.
Right, before we get to UFC 317, it's about time for us to get out of here as far as Body Slam goes. So if you're watching us over on Body Slam, make sure you guys are staying tuned to the channel. Make sure you check out the NXT review for tonight's NXT, which is just going off the air here. Make sure you check them out. Subscribe to Body Slam if you haven't already done so. Make sure you subscribe to Knockouts and Three Counts. We will be back this Thursday. And for those of you guys who are watching on all our platforms and millions, we are going to get to our UFC 317 preview. So, again, if you guys are watching us on Body Slam, like I said, always appreciated. Make sure you keep checking out the channel. Make sure you subscribe to Knockouts and Three Counts.
I like that, Kyle. They should give you a suit or something. You know what I mean? It was a good little transition segue you just did there. We need to put you on TV.
It's like I might have done this a time or two.
It's like you got